For years, Steam has been the gold standard of PC gaming, but over the last week, that entire foundation has been hit by a coordinated global movement. Two massive brand new lawsuits have just been filed against Valve, and for the first time, this is about alleged secret deals with Microsoft and a €220 million demand for compensation that could apply to every single Steam user in the Netherlands. If you have a Steam account, you need to understand that the legal landscape for your library is changing. We aren't talking about niche regulatory complaints anymore. We're talking about the potential end of the Steam tax model that has defined the last 15 years of PC gaming. Let's start with the new Washington state filing. On June 1st and 2nd, two gamers, Max Rockman and Randall Mooring, filed a proposed class action lawsuit. You might ask, why sue Microsoft? Valve is the one with the store, but the plaintiffs are alleging that Microsoft, the owner of Xbox and the PC Game Pass, has been playing a high-stakes game behind closed doors with Valve. The core accusation is horizontal price fixing. The plaintiffs claim Microsoft and Valve entered into a secret kickback arrangement. Their argument is simple. Microsoft allegedly accepted benefits as payment for agreeing not to compete with Steam. They call it a cartel over the market for PC game distribution. Their smoking gun is that the lawsuit pulls directly from the ongoing Wolfire vs. Valve discovery. They highlight a 2011 arbitration ruling where an arbitrator explicitly declared that a clause in a distribution agreement between Valve and Microsoft constituted unlawful horizontal pricing. Valve fought this then, and they're fighting it now, but the plaintiffs are using these internal records to show a pattern of behavior. They cite an email where a Microsoft employee notes that Steam's publishing agreement historically has required product and price parity. Price parity forces a publisher to sell their game for the same price on the Microsoft Store as they do on Steam. If you're a developer, you can't offer a better deal on the Windows Store to draw customers away from Steam, because Valve's contracts just won't let you. By eliminating price competition, the suit claims these two giants kept the price floor artificially high, forcing us to pay more than we would in a truly open market. The plaintiffs argue that this is a market allocation scheme under the Sherman Act intended to divide the PC gaming market between two dominant entities, leaving no room for legitimate price discovery. While this new US case is about collusion, the new Dutch lawsuit is about cold hard cash and the most favored nation clause. On June 11th, a Dutch consumer watchdog known as the CCC officially launched the GameClaim initiative. This is a massive play. They represent all Dutch PC gamers who have purchased games on Steam since 2013. The mechanism they are attacking is the same price parity issue we just talked about. They hired Copenhagen Economics to audit the situation, and the numbers are pretty big. They estimate that Dutch consumers have overpaid by more than €220 million total. If this class action succeeds, they estimate a potential payout of roughly €130 per qualifying account. The CCC claims that Valve uses its roughly 85% market share to force developers into a corner. It's a classic take it or leave it ultimatum. Because Valve is the gatekeeper of PC gaming, developers have to accept the 30% revenue cut and the most favored nation clauses. The foundation argues that this 30% cut is not just a fee, but an inflated tax on the entire ecosystem. They argue that if Valve didn't restrict competition through these clauses, prices for DLC, microtransactions, and base games would have been lower for the last 13 years. The Dutch foundation, the CCC, is being remarkably aggressive. In their official pre-action letter, they have explicitly accused Valve of abusing its dominant market position to maintain supra-competitive prices. The foundation has publicly highlighted its goal to achieve full restoration of market competition, which they define as the ability for a consumer in the Netherlands to purchase a game on a competing store at a lower price than what is offered on Steam. They argue that for over a decade, Dutch gamers have been locked into a non-competitive pricing loop loop, and they are calling on Valve to pay for the economic injury caused by what they describe as the deliberate suppression of market dynamics. The CCC is currently in a pre-action settlement phase, which they've sent a formal demand to Valve inviting them to the negotiating table. If Valve ignores them, which they might, the CCC is prepared to go to full-scale, years-long litigation. This is a direct attack on the economic model that built Steam. But the real question should be, why is this happening now? For years, Valve could handle legal challenges one at a time. They had the resources to fight Wolfire in one court and ignore arbitration claims in another. But today, it seems like they're facing a surrounding tactic. You have the UK collective action lawsuit valued at nearly $900 million, the New York Attorney General's lawsuit regarding casino-style loot boxes, the consumer and also developer class action lawsuits, and now also these two new cases. They're all shifting their focus and looking directly at Valve. And now you might be wondering what happens if these lawsuits actually break Steam's model. If Valve is forced to drop its price parity rules, you might see lower prices as stores finally compete for your dollar. But that's not always a guarantee, as developers may just take the lower fee for an increase of profit into their pockets. Plus, there's even the risk to Valve. If Valve's primary source of revenue with Steam is challenged, they may be forced to monetize in different ways. We are watching the golden age of Steam get stress tested in courtrooms all around the world. Are these lawsuits a necessary correction to a monopoly that has been unchecked for too long? Or are they just opportunistic law firms smelling blood? Let me know in the comments. I'm going to be tracking these filings over the next few months, so if you want to stay updated, make sure you are subscribed, as this is just the beginning of a massive shift in how we buy our games.